The following is a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network. This is the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
We're committed to being great here. I'm proud to represent Washington State. I know the people that wear their Cougs all across this country, they're proud to be a part of Washington State. Why not be here? Why not cheer on this team? Why not see this environment and make it something special? What an opportunity to show who we are as Cougs.
Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppo's, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. Now, live from Zeppo's, alongside Cougar head coach Jake Dickert, here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Listen to this crowd. Listen to this crowd here at Zeppo's. This is a post-Apple Cup victory. Cougar Football Hour.
Let's hear it, guys. Let's hear it.
With Coach Dickert. Whew, I'm getting goosebumps all over again. Had some of those Saturday. We're back here.
Yeah.
The Cougs win the Apple Cup. The Cougar Football Hour. Who had a great time on Saturday?
Yeah, it was unbelievable, Chris. And this is the benefit of a Week 3 Apple Cup, is that we get to bring the cup with us, celebrate with some of our best and most loyal fans right here at Zeppo's. I mean, it's just a heck of a game. I'm just so proud of this team. You know, I said it kind of after the game. That wasn't 1 week's worth of work. That was 9.5 months of grinding and creating a vision and always knowing and believing through the ebbs and flows of that game. And hopefully, you know, nobody had a heart attack out there. It was one of those things that was great. And, you know, we kind of talked about it. This game needs one of those great nicknames, you know. So I was kind of maybe pitching the stop in Seattle. Right? What do you think about that? You know, something about that 4th and 1. There was no flinch in our football team. They knew they were going to go out there and get the big stop, and it was just really fun to be a part of.
Oh, what a day it was, and Cougs everywhere. Yes. What a weekend, and it's still one to savor, not only for now, but forever, for years to come. And that will, as you said, go down in Apple Cup lore. Well, we got a lot to get to on the Cougar Football Hour here tonight. We'll not only recap the Apple Cup. Josh Meredith will be here. Had a huge game in the Apple Cup.
Huge game. Let's hear it for Josh Meredith. It was just incredible.
Excited to visit with him, and then it's a quick turnaround. Friday night, here we come. Giesa Field, San Jose State comes to town, 7 o'clock kickoff, so we'll talk about the Spartans. I just want to know, maybe just quite simply, what was Saturday like for you?
Well, it's just one of those things, you know, every time Apple Cup, you know, you're just a lot of things going through your mind. You're trying to play the game as you go for it. I didn't sleep a lot the night before. I paced a lot before the game, but I did appreciate that it was at 12:30, and it was a cool arena to play in. I mean, I've never been to Lumen Field. I think the guys were fired up, but we just really walked onto that field extremely confident. I could feel that in our team. I felt it in Friday night. The sight sounds, the pageantry wasn't too big for them, and they wanted that moment, Chris. I think there's a big distinction when you play in big football games where you believe you can do it and you want to do it. And I think our guys went out there wanting to do it. And I just saw 60 minutes of tough football. It wasn't perfect. When we rewatched the tape, there's some of those plays where you're like, man, we got to do this and that better. But at the end of the day, our guys just kept slugging and kept believing and found a way through all kinds of different up and down throughout a football game to come up with one more play than them and out-execute them when it matters. And I thought that was the difference in the football game.
That is what the team did. We'll get to that final play, the stop in Seattle. Yeah. You know, there's a lot of plays we could go through. We could have a 2-hour show where we just talk about this. But just thinking of different moments in that game. When Jean Mateer ran for the 25-yard touchdown, it was close to the end of the first half. It was 3rd and 20.
Yeah.
And he is able to take that situation, 3rd and almost forever, and get a touchdown out of it. How big was that spot with what he was able to do with his legs at that point for the team?
Well, I just think a huge momentum swing, especially before the half. You know what, we got ourselves in a penalty and we got ourselves backed up, and I really just told Coach Arbuckle, let's get a great field goal here. You know, let's get something downhill. Let's run the ball. Let's make sure we're kicking this thing as time expires. And it's just one of those things. They play drop 8. John comes through, he breaks the guy. All of a sudden, good job by Kyle Williams and Josh Meredith to kind of seal the edge, and he just kind of breaks off and does what John Mateer does. They lost their angles through the middle, and big mistake by them, and obviously a huge play by John. And just, I think he continues to show his versatility, not just with his arm, his legs, his mind, and is never perfect. He's still just 3 games in as a starter. But I know this, just like Alex Brink, okay, your buddy in the booth, you win this game as a quarterback, you turn into immediate WSU legend, and really proud of John because he's 1-0 so far in the Apple Cup.
Well, that kind of leads us. We have a lot of great audience questions. That was one of them by Apple Cup standards. Alex Brink, all of his success, he's kind of setting a goal to join him in that lore, and that is a major first Apple Cup start for John Mateer and what he was able to do. I'm thinking about afterwards the celebration, seeing everyone up on that stage, and so many guys clinging tight to that. The guys who have been around a long time, the guys who are Washington natives. We'll get a lot of names to go through. I thought Andrew Edson did quite a bit in that game. Career high 7 tackles, 3 TFLs. A Washington native. He's from Mount Si High School, a Snoqualmie guy.
Senior.
What was it like to see the impact that he had in the game?
Well, I just think hopefully, I know a lot of people were there, but if you were watching at home, I think you could feel our emotion. And maybe, I got a little emotional about it there too, but it's just when when we were so close the year before, Chris, and really wanting it bad for that 2023 team to follow up and get that cup was really big. We were invested in this football game, and to see guys like, Devin Kalani, Leighton Smithson, a West Side native, had a great return game. Obviously, Andrew Edson, just kind of that stalwart, chip on the shoulder, tough kid that a lot of people look over in recruiting. But he just has those intangible pieces that embody, he's going to make himself the best he possibly could be. And he played as a true freshman, and he's seen his role kind of enhance. And, Josh Meredith is another guy that you'll talk to later that had to wait his turn, never knew when his moment was going to come. And his moment came in the biggest, brightest spot that you could ever be in. What a performance by a lot of our guys. And I just thought it was very gritty to go out there and get that win.
There was another question that we had I thought was interesting about just what it was like playing at Lumen Field. That is a spot that is known for getting loud.
Yeah.
How was the atmosphere coaching there? Just a unique spot.
Well, I know the challenge was for Cougs to be there, and they showed up now, Chris. I think it was great. I think they had 16 penalties, right? They had 16 penalties, and there was a 4th and 6. It was loud in there. They false started. Once again, we talked about it last week on the show. That makes a difference. And then they had to go out and punt the ball back. So there's a lot of big things there that I love the environment. Now, I understand what that game means to Pullman, our community, and obviously everything it brings to that. I can't wait to have the return trip next year back here in Pullman, right where it should be.
And right where it should be. Speaking of things that are right where it should be, you brought a special guest with you here. We have the trophy itself right back where it should be.
We do. And next segment, we'll bring it up here to make sure everybody can see it. I want everyone to take pictures with it, enjoy it. I like to say, I get to raise the trophy, right? They hand it to me. But everyone has their hand on that trophy, right? Everyone that supports this program, everyone that donates to it, everyone that shows up here, it's not just me lifting that. It's just all of our support base, and everyone should be proud of these kids in this moment to go out there and bring that Apple Cup back home. It's a big deal. I know to all of you guys out here. It's a big deal to our football team, but it is week 3. And we will move on here in a little bit. Our team has moved on, and we'll talk about that. But I know the gravity of what this means, but we'll really celebrate this come December.
Love that. So let's talk about the stop in Seattle, a play that will go down in Apple Cup history and will be talked about just for years and years and decades to come. 25-21, the lead, or I should say the lead at that point, 5-point lead, 4th and goal from the 1.5-yard line, a little over a minute to go. Put us in your shoes. What was going through your mind? We saw a little bit of the great video from the creative team, but put us in your shoes on what you thought was going to happen, what ended up happening. Walk us through it.
Well, I think it's one of those things where, the time management piece, the game management piece is one of the biggest things you have to do as a head coach. I don't call offense. I don't call defense. I don't call special teams. John makes a lot of the big decisions. So once they got inside and it was 1st and goal and the clock was under the 2-minute warning, you also start to think we need to save ourselves time if they score. So any positive play on 1st down, we're taking a timeout. They got stuffed. Okay, let the clock tick down, right? Don't let them get into their best play. 2nd down, stuffed. All right, don't call a timeout. Don't let them get in their best play. 3rd down, right, close. It goes out of bounds, so we don't need to burn one. I would have burned one no matter what after 3rd down. So then the conversations are just, let's make sure we show them a look that we're not going to run, all right, and then we're going to take a timeout. And as we're going through it, we saw the look. They end up taking a timeout. So it really surprised us a little bit, just knowing some things. And then obviously 4th down, biggest thing we went out there and said is they're not going to beat us running the ball. Let's make them make and throw. They're at the 1-yard line. Their tailback's their best player. We called something that we felt really good about. And obviously, I'm just as surprised as anyone else. Speed option out the back door with a non-mobile quarterback. But our guys rallied with speed, and I mean that. Andrew Edson just whooped on that tackle. He got the ball pitched out late, and KT, he needed all 6 years to make those big plays. But he went out there and made it. And you know what's fun when you watch the film and you watch it back and you put yourself in that moment, just watching from the tight end zone, watching the sideline just erupt, right? But then you realize as a head coach, you snap right back in. Okay, there's a minute 12. They got 2 timeouts. Let's get the offense back here. We got to get this ball out. And then we snuck just enough space. And then we worked this all week trying to get them to show, sneak, and jump off sides to get us some room. And then we're like, okay, let's try this one more time, see if we can get a free 1st down, and then we'll punt the ball. And they jumped off sides again. John slid, means the clock's going to run after the timeout. Chance for victory, and just amazing Apple Cup win, because that locker room celebration was exactly what it should be, exactly what you thought, because there's so much hard work that went into that thing.
Well, maybe take us into that locker room as much as you're willing to do. What exactly was that celebration like?
I don't know. These guys are on like Instagram Live and stuff now. I don't even know what that is, if I'm being honest. We did smoke a celebratory cigar.
Well-deserved.
Yeah, my throat has just recovered yesterday. I'm not a cigar smoker.
You got a broadcaster's voice now.
Yeah, it's one of those things. So it was just fun, and Candace and my daughter Riley got a chance to be there, so to have that moment with them on the field. And I spent a lot of time after the game, obviously after the fans rushed the field, being out there and thanking them and take as many pictures as I could, because I wanted to let them know how appreciative I was that they were there. They invested their time, their money, their effort for this football team. I mean it. It was 60,000. It was 60-40, but it was just great energy, great environment. And like I said, when from that wide tight end zone, you could see the stadium erupt after that. And I just hope everyone's proud out there, because this football team really embodies what it means to be a Coug.
That hits the nail on the head there. And then it kind of continued, right? Once you wheels up, wheels down, back in Pullman. How is it getting back to the Palouse?
I mean, it's just really hard to get the guys off the field, right? Back into the locker room, back packed up. And then, as soon as we landed, it was cool. All of the coaches' families were out at the airport, and we celebrated with them. They kind of came on with the bus, and then kind of, if you drive up through that little bowler alley there, and to see, 500 or so just people celebrating, and just understand what it means to people, and the high fives and the pictures and celebrating. And I meant what I said earlier in the press conference, though. I was like, BV, go grab the Apple Cup. I don't need this puppy at the Coug later. I said, let's make sure that we get this thing upstairs so we don't go viral for having our rivalry trophy at the local bar.
Well, it's good to have it here at Zeppos tonight with all these great Cougs joining us for the Cougar Football Hour. Is there a under the radar, maybe a play or a moment in this game that, maybe doesn't get talked about as much? It's not the stop in Seattle, but when you went back and watched it, or you felt it in real time, and you're like, boy, that really made a difference.
Well, I think there was a bunch of different things, even early on in the football game to get, I felt was a big punt return, get us down there. I know we stalled out at times, but to get the big field goal there early, obviously scoring before half was everything. And they had a big penalty on 3rd and 18. 3 plays later, boom, boom, boom. We're in the back end zone, extend our lead. I thought that was big, but I really pointed down to red zone defense. It was one of those bend but don't break days. They had the big score early, but then they had to settle for 4 field goals. So sometimes on defense it isn't pretty, but if you can really bow up late in that series and force them to kick field goals will never beat you, Chris. And that was just another day of that. 19 points against a good team with a bunch of explosive playmakers. Just really good job to our defense, and it was just more than the big stop at the end of the game.
You, and I say this with all sincerity, you have a gift to articulate things that really cut right to the core of being a Cougar. I thought when you said after the game, we said we were going to win this game not because we hated them, but because we love each other. And roughly 20 words, you just so beautifully put a lot of emotion and feeling right there for folks that cut right to the core. Where did that originate from?
Yeah, it's amazing what you get for your players, because We have a captain's meeting every week, and they could feel early on. I was describing the rivalry. I was describing the things that I've been through for 5 years or other players, and you get kind of the emotions of it. And, you can't play emotional. That's not a great state of performance. And we're in the captain's meeting, and, I always say, hey, what does the team need to hear, right? Because those 6 guys, they know the team. They're embodied the team. And Nusi Milani, one of our captains at Edge, he goes, Coach, to be honest with you, I think he's real simple. He says, we're going to win this game not because we hate them, right, but because we love each other. And I was like, straight to the heart for me. I'm like, wow, like what a mature thing to say and what a mature line in that moment. And it was impactful just like it was for everybody else when he said that to me. Because I think it speaks a lot to the culture. I think it speaks a lot to the men in the organization. I just think it's all those type of things that you just – as a head coach, I was like really proud that he said that. And so we talked about that Friday night. We had Rob Tobeck come and speak to the team. That was one of our main themes. Consistency and toughness was the other main theme. And I just felt like through 4 quarters, you really felt that. Our culture versus their culture. Our togetherness versus their togetherness. I thought it was all on display, and it just hit me in that moment to say it, which was the right thing, I guess.
Well, it struck a chord, I think, with a lot of people and myself. Just kind of final thoughts here, and that,
thank you. That
deserves a big round of applause. Any last words as we kind of, we're going to move forward here on what we're talking about? This Apple Cup victory will live on in history and in lore, but any final thoughts on it?
Well, I just think the biggest thing is, you immediately in coaching mode, you snap into a little bit of what's next. And, obviously the love is valued. We love that from Cougs. But I just told the guys, like, let's be content, not just content with where we're at. We're really happy. But we expected to be here. We did. We knew we were going to go in there and win that football game. And when we did, let's handle it the correct way. Because everyone, if I had a nickel for every time someone said, remember last year, Coach? Okay, well, off to a good start. I said, I got you. But there's a mentality to this team that the Monday practice, because we're on a short week, was one of the best practices of the year. The most energy, the guys getting right back out there. They were right back to watching film. And they know when you win football games, you create more opportunities. So I just feel like that's where this one sits right now. Ask me that question in December. We'll celebrate this one again. But it's a big year to have this trophy in Pullman, and I know it means a lot to everybody.
Yes, it does. How about one more time for this Apple Cup victory that we're talking about? We'll take a break on the Cougar Football Hour. More with Jake Dickert when we return. We're live at Seppo's. You're tuned in to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Dear road rivals, let's talk about extra. Toyota offers tons of extra with Toyota Care, our no-cost maintenance plan good for 2 years or 25,000 miles. No-cost oil changes, no-cost tire rotations, no-cost fluid level adjustments, and more. That's a whole lot of extra at no cost from Toyota. Nissan and Ford charge extra for maintenance. And that's the kind of extra nobody needs. Try harder. Toyota.
Based on manufacturer's data as of 3/19/2024, covers normal factory scheduled service for 2 years or 25,000 miles, whichever occurs first. See participating dealer for coverage details.
You may be eager to break ground on a new outdoor project, but never just start digging. Buried electric and natural gas lines can be anywhere. It's the law to call 811 at least 2 business days before you dig. Spray paint white lines showing your dig zone, and a crew will mark the utility lines. Mark accuracy zone is within 2 feet of the mark, so always hand dig to expose the line first. Call 811 before you dig. The service is free for residential customers. Avista. We just want you to be safe.
Are you interested in your company reaching Coug fans in and out of game day? As the multimedia rights holder for Washington State Athletics, Washington State Sports Properties helps companies and organizations connect themselves to Cougar Athletics in unique and exciting ways. From LED signs to pregame parties to the radio ad you're hearing right now, Washington State Sports Properties is helping companies both large and small get in front of Coug fans on a daily basis. Reach out to Washington State Sports Properties to learn more about what sponsoring the Cougs can look like for you.
This is the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Whenever I see somebody purchasing something with their WSU card, I always like to give them a go Cougs. It brings me back to when I was in Pullman.
From the rolling hills of the Palouse to keys jingling before every kickoff, there's something special about being a Coug. That's why BECU created the WSU credit and debit cards. It's just one more way to show pride for a place we all call home. Grab your WSU card today. BECU, power in people. Membership required. Restrictions apply. Call 800-233-2328 for details about credit costs and terms. Federally insured by NCUA. Member compensated for participation.
In business, just like sports, it's all about the team you assemble to get the job done. And for over 65 years, McVeigh Brothers has put an all-star team together of the best siding, window, and roofing installers in the business. So if you're in the market for an upgrade, remodel, or add on to your home, give the pros at McVeigh Brothers Roofing, Siding, and Windows a call today. We'll come out and give you a free estimate. McVeigh Brothers Siding and Windows. We're always working for you.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour. WSU undefeated so far this year, at home this week. San Jose State the opponent. Kickoff at 7 o'clock. And coming up a little later, we'll have Josh Meredith join us off of a big Apple Cup from him. And we are back here with Jake Dickert and Coach. Some good news this week. First off, the Bear Bryant Awards Coach of the Week. I'm sitting right next to him. Well-deserved honor there. And really another cool piece of news. On Tuesday, it was announced that Dean Janikowski was named to the 2024 All-State Good Works team and a Danny Werfel Trophy semifinalist. So one of 11 semifinalists for, and this is college football's premier award for community service. How proud were you when you heard about this recognition for him?
First off, let's hear it for Dean. This is just incredible. Obviously, the Heather Janikowski Foundation, and, Dean has raised over $100,000 for cancer patients in the Palouse region. It's just unbelievable what he has done. And a lot of people talk about platforms and being able to use your platform as a football player. And obviously, he has turned tragedy into triumph. I think he really has. He's using something really hard in his life to inspire others and help people in our area. But to be one of 11, Chris, okay, this isn't one of 100. This is one of 11 people in the FBS to be named to the All-State Good Works team. He gets a couple cool things. He gets a little NIL deal. He gets to go to the Sugar Bowl. He gets to go to the December 12th, I believe, the big event for the ESPN and all these things. So what an honor, okay? And I talk all the time about character is a competitive advantage, okay? And when you have great character in your team and guys just like Dean Janikowski, it's just amazing what you can accomplish. So I'm just really proud of Dean. Let's give him one last round of applause. It's a huge honor. Really huge honor.
And a quilt has been put together with all the seniors that they signed, and I know that they're doing a raffle for this, so donating it here at the Coaches Show. So another great way to help raise money for the foundation and all the fantastic work that Dean is doing.
Yeah, at Dean's last event, I ended up buying a little scooter. I mean, it's just incredible. The boys have rode it. We've enjoyed it so much, and he actually made it. So they pushed me a little higher than I wanted to go, but we went there. It was great. It was great.
Worth every penny, though, right?
Absolutely.
Oh, that is great. Well, coming up, we'll take another timeout. When we return, we'll dive into San Jose State. The Spartans come to town. It's a Friday night game, but first, a reminder, Cougar Nation, each time you bring your Toyota vehicle to be serviced at a local and participating Toyota dealership, you can receive a premium Washington State giveaway item as a member of the Toyota Rewards Program. Stay tuned for more information on how to become a Rewards Program member. More from Zeppo's after this. You're tuned in to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppo's. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and, of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppo's is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppo's.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
This is former Coug, Eric Coleman.
Picked off, intercepted, touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear. Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
Welcome back to the show. Time now to look ahead at this week's game with the Coors Light Opponent Preview. Coors Light, choose chill. Proud partner of Cougar Athletics. Celebrate responsibly.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour. Still to come, Josh Meredith going to join us. We are talking now about San Jose State. The Spartans come to the Palouse, a Friday night game. Before we dive into that with Coach Dickert, first, a reminder, earn your bragging rights at Northern Quest with more slot machines, table games, restaurants, lounges, and luxury hotel rooms. More than anyone else in the region. Northern Quest, yes, the best. More at northernquest.com. So, Coach, it is San Jose State, the opponent. Interesting looking back at their recent stretch of success. 9-1 over the last 10 games. They come to town with a 3-0 record on the season. What has allowed them to be undefeated at this point in the year?
You know, I kind of said this earlier in the week, and I know they always think I'm taking a shot at other schools, but they've been the Bay Area's best team. I mean, they've been to 4 bowl games in the last 5 years. They've been really, really consistent. And obviously a new head coach, you know, so to come in, they're going to spread it out on offense. You know, they're running the old run and shoot. So there'll be a lot of, obviously, option-style runs, and they're going to get the ball, you know, vertically and horizontally out in space. They obviously have a quarterback that we're familiar with. Emmett was here last year. So they're doing really good things offensively, and they will take the ball down the field more than anybody that we play all season. They're known for throwing it deep, and they have a tremendous receiver. Number 3 has 34 catches and 6 touchdowns in 3 games. He's been targeted over 45 times already in an early season, so he's that guy that you have to stop, you have to contain, you have to get an extra play or two, know where he's at all times. They move him all over the place. I think they've just been really efficient on offense so far this season. So it's going to be a unique challenge as we kind of move into this game.
Nick Nash, the receiver you're referring to, leads the nation in receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. The reigning Mountain West Offensive Player of the Week, over 200 yards, 3 touchdowns last week. So it has been he has been feasting early on in the year.
Yeah, they've been doing a lot of, you know, really productive things, and, you know, obviously the all-line's keeping them clean, and, you know, so it's a whole other challenge, you know. And I told our defense, I mean, we're not going to be able to, they're going to throw the ball down the field, you know, 20 times. We're not going to be able to defend all of them, right? But I anticipate we can go out there and hopefully create some big plays, but we have to affect the quarterback. They do a ton of RPOs, vertical RPOs, where they're just running and pulling the ball and slinging it down there. We got to be able to get, you know, him off his spot, because if we don't, Emmett's very consistent and really good accuracy.
And for Emmett Brown, as you said, this is someone you're very familiar with, has been in the program before, but I know you're not. You're hoping it's not the easiest day for him coming up on Friday night, but someone I'm sure you're proud to see the success he's gone on and had.
Yeah, I said this earlier, too, in the week. I mean, look at our quarterback room from last year. I mean, we have the Heisman favorite, Cam Ward. Okay, we have the biggest sensation on the West Coast in John Mateer, right? And Emmett Brown, you know, went out and said, Coach, I want to. And he found a home San Jose and a place that fits him very well. So I'm obviously proud of all those guys, but yeah, I would like Emmett to take a week off of that success. Absolutely.
That is that's well said there. And Ken Niumatalolo is their first-year head coach, but folks remember him at Navy, and they don't remember the run and shoot when he was at Navy. This is a different style of offense.
He didn't ease himself off the option.
No,
I mean, he went from like run it every play to throw it every play. I mean, so what a difference in kind of styles, but it just shows great coaches evolve. I mean, I think he's kind of, evolved into, modern style and all those different type of things. But, when you hear about Coach Ken really through the coaching world, discipline, hard work, great motivator, tons of respect for everything that he does. And he will have these guys playing extremely physical and confident. That's the one thing, Chris, when you watch this team is there's no fear in what they do, right? Because you flip sides and you go to defense. Their defensive line, they're not worried about reading and reacting. They're worried about penetrating and getting vertical. And they're playing aggressive. They have 10 takeaways so far in a young season, and that's over 3 a game. So they're playing very balanced football, and that's creating a lot of offense. So we have to take care of the ball. I mean, they've feasted so far in an early season. And here's why I know they're a good team. And I've played Air Force 3 times. I've never held Air Force to 7 points. I don't even know how they did that. But it shows discipline. It shows focus. It shows a physicality that it takes to go out there and do that. So they've had success on a young season, and they'll come in here and obviously give us their best.
And you've touched on some of those key points, but worth reiterating. 10 turnovers they've been able to force through 3 games. That's tied for the most in the nation. You touched on some of those, but just to hit on them again, what has allowed them to create that many takeaways?
Well, I just think they've been so aggressive to the ball. I mean, when they play that hard, and I think that's the make of a good defense is, the ripping and stripping. It isn't just one guy. They have a bunch of interceptions, sack fumbles. They're going to pick and choose their spots to be ultra aggressive. And I did think, and I'm going to give credit to our offensive line, I thought they did a really good job handling Washington's pressure last week. It'll be another one of those games where they have to step up and be extremely physical and keep John upright. Because the biggest thing that we took away, Chris, that through a young season we need to do better, it has more rhythm in our pass game. We're just been a little bit sporadic or relying on John scrambling around, making some of those plays, just on time, on target, 1, 2, 3, hitting the seams. We just have to have more rhythm to our pass game, and that's been a big emphasis on a short week.
Yes, and that will be Friday night. Again, it will be here soon. Our coverage will start at 5 o'clock on our radio network coverage and kick off at 7 o'clock. San Jose State
Another
at
Palouse after dark.
Field. Palouse after dark on a Friday night, Coach. We'll catch you loose for now. We'll bring you back a little bit later on, and we're excited to have Josh Meredith joining us coming up.
I see him back there. He did his hair for this one. I see it. He's ready to go.
Did his hair. Big smile on his face. We'll have him up here in just a moment. We'll be back from Zeppo's right after this. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Spokane International Airport is a proud sponsor of Washington State University Athletics. The airport connects Cougar fans and alums with over 60 daily departures to more than 20 nonstop destinations.
Get a little closer, too.
A little closer. All right.
Choose chill, because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
With the WSU debit card from Giza, it's hard to tell who's supporting who. When Coug fans use their WSU card, they show off their Coug pride, and donations are made back to Cougar Athletics. But the card supports the Coug fan with big savings by helping them grow their money with Smart Plus checking. So, does the card support the Coug fan, or does the Coug fan support the card? It doesn't matter. All that matters is that the WSU card supports Cougar Athletics and your wallet at the same time. Get your WSU card at Giza.com. Checking account transaction requirements, terms and conditions apply. Insured by NCUA.
You're listening to Cougar Football on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Hey, Cougar fans, the 2024 football season is here, and SeatGeek is here to help you experience all the action. SeatGeek makes it easy to find tickets so you can be a part of all the touchdown celebrations this season. Whether you're buying or selling tickets to Washington State football games or to any other live event in your area, SeatGeek is the place to do it. SeatGeek is the official ticket marketplace of the Washington State Cougars. The most disruptive idea in ticketing? A ticket that works. Expect the expected. SeatGeek.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Well, the Junior Cougs Kids Club is presented by Toyota. It is the official kids club of the Washington State Cougars, and it is the best way for the youngest members of Cougar Nation to show off their Cougar pride. Find out more information about your Junior Cougs membership perks at wsucougars.com/JRCougs. Here we are back at Zeppo's live here on the Cougar Football Hour. We had Coach Dickert on. He'll rejoin us a little later, but we're so excited to welcome in Josh Meredith. Josh, thanks for being here tonight. How you doing?
I'm doing amazing. Thanks for having me.
That is a big applause you got there.
Yeah, that's love right there.
And Saturday, you were getting plenty of applause in the Apple Cup. You came through a career-high performance, 7 catches, 111 yards, and a touchdown. Let's hear it for that performance Saturday. What a day to remember at Lumen Field.
Yeah.
What allowed you to have that kind of game in that environment, in that huge rivalry clash?
Yeah, I think it's just one of those things where when it's your turn, you got to take that opportunity and really just run with it. Me and John have been working with each other for 2 seasons now. I've been here for my 4th season. It's just something you work for every single day. And once it happens, you take off and run with it. And that's what it was. The ball came my way and just made plays.
And your touchdown was a hard-earned touchdown. Can you kind of take us through your vision? Because you didn't have the option to waltz into the end zone.
Yeah.
You had to earn and extend to get in there.
Yeah, so earlier in the game we had a similar play, but instead of continuing it out, I came in. So I expected him to think I was doing the same thing. And once I broke out of my route, I knew it was going to be a catch run. He's going to be there. And it's kind of how I pictured out completely. And I wasn't going to go out of bounds. I needed to get the touchdown. So I just, left my feet and went for the pylon.
You were not to be denied, and that is what happened. How was the celebration? Let's just go to the locker room. You're on the field after. What was it like? We've got the Apple Cup trophy here at Zeppo's tonight. When did you first get your paws? I know your fingerprints are on there somewhere.
Yeah, I wasn't able to touch it until I got into the locker room. Everyone kind of stormed that stage in the middle, and just there were so many people, and I was like, I don't want to get stepped on. I'll touch it later. It'll come my way, and that's how it happened. Got in the locker room, put my little goofy shades on, took some flicks with it, and on the field it was cool because my mom and dad did drive all the way from here to the stadium, which is really cool. And then my best friend growing up, he lives in Seattle, so I gave him some tickets with his little sister. So it was cool to see some people that I haven't seen in a while, and then have the game of my career so far. So it was just a good time.
What a day they were able to be there for, to cheer you on. That is so cool to hear. 4th season of the program, redshirt junior. You're a San Diego native. Can you walk us through? How did you become a Coug? What was your recruiting story like? What was the journey that brought you here to the Palouse?
High school was all over the place. I was actually not as loyal as I was here. I had 3 high schools trying to figure out what to do. My junior year is when offers started pouring in a little bit. The end of junior year, I was told to commit early just so I had a safe net just in case anything would happen. So I actually was committed to Fresno State before I was committed here. 2 weeks before official signing day, I got a phone call. I'm getting Chick-fil-A at like 7 o'clock. And I got offered to come here. And it was a no-brainer. Slept on it, woke up, decommitted, recommitted here. Signing day, signed up, and I got here. So
I bet that chicken sandwich tasted extra good after that phone call.
It was perfect. Felt amazing. Because the the dream was always to go Pac-12 or bigger, and once it was that I got that call, it was like, go sign the papers. And
so later in October, there's a road game at San Diego State. Being a San Diego guy, is that when you kind of circle on your calendar? Is you're going to have a big cheering section there?
So I'm already asking teammates because the gate just opened to get those tickets. I have family members being like, oh, I need 15 tickets just for me. And I'm like, oh, you got to share the love. But being from San Diego, I would definitely have a little section of just Josh Meredith. And so,
well, I'll be listening in. I'll take part of the headset off, and when you make a big catch in that game, I'll be listening in for all the cheering that will be coming in that one. We'll take a timeout. More to come. I want to hear about what you're doing off the field, everything else with that. We'll get to that right after this break. Josh Meredith joining us here at Zeppos live on the Cougar Football Hour. More after this timeout. You are tuned in to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there, the fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it, because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024, U.S. Bank.
Hey, Coug fans! Can't decide what to do with your late-night weekends? Why not Cosmic Bowling? Every Friday and Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 2 a.m. is Cosmic Bowling at Zeppos. At a price designed with everyone in mind, we are your destination for music, disco lights, and of course, bowling. Can't join us on the weekends? Zeppos is the place to be for all ages every day of the week. With bowling, food, and drink specials, we offer prices that won't break the budget. You can even reserve your lane in advance with online reservations at Zeppos.com. When looking for fun in Pullman, look no further than Zeppos.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
This is Drew Bledsoe, and you're listening to Cougar Football.
Bledsoe calls his play, has the ball, throws a home run ball from the end zone to Bobo! Touchdown! Washington State!
On the Washington State Sports Network.
Get game day ready at Rosars. Rosars is a proud sponsor of WSU Athletics and your headquarters for keeping snacks stocked up for game time. You'll find the largest craft beer selection, local and imported wines, and all the makings for your favorite cocktails. And while you're there, stock up on your favorite deli snacks, pizza, rotisserie chickens, and ribs. Don't just watch the game, experience it with your favorite game time foods. Get game day ready at Rosars.
Get your home turf ready to play with the game-changing performance of Steel. Enjoy big savings this fall on Steel handheld outdoor power equipment. Find yours at over 10,000 local Steel dealers. Steel is a proud supporter of your Washington State Cougars. Real Steel. Find yours.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppos here with Josh Meredith on the Cougar Football Hour, joined by the redshirt junior wide receiver from San Diego. So, Josh, we were talking about football before, transitioning to kind of life away from the field. Tell us what has kept you busy in the classroom here in your time at WSU, and fingers crossed you got a lot of football in front of you, but maybe someday when football comes to an end, what you're thinking about doing after that.
Yeah, so I'm actually a criminal justice major. I'm getting into those deeper classes now because I am considered a senior school-wise, having those 400-level classes. They do get a little bit more challenging. It's just a bunch of lectures. And those, I will tell you, last week I had my first exam. And I'm thinking it's not going to be too crazy. I walk in there, it's 110 questions. I've never filled out a Scantron all the way before, but I had good hope in that, and I think it went well. We'll hope. And but that keeps me occupied school-wise. Outside of school and just I have 2 dogs, so when I go home, I am pretty busy. I needed someone to keep me company out here because I was away from family for a long time, so I was like, I'm going to get 1 dog, and then 1 dog turned into 2 dogs, so that's really my afternoon when I go home, just to my two dogs, and I just love those guys to death. I don't really step outside. You know, people like to celebrate, go party. I'm not really into that. I'm usually the person that sits back and makes sure everyone gets home. That's kind of my role. And I'll get on the video games here and there, but that's just me. So yeah.
Well, that is great. And naturally, I've got to ask, what kind of dogs do you have?
Yeah, so I have a lab mix, which I consider my first dog, but it's really me and my roommate's first dog. His name is Ozzy. He has a whole bunch of energy. He likes to howl. That's the only thing that's not good about him. When I leave the house, that boy starts barking right away, but I pay extra rent for him, so they can't complain. And then my second dog, he's a boxer Belgian Shepherd mix, and that dude could jump off the walls. But my family dog growing up had some kids, so I had to get one of his sons, and that's just how that turned out.
Oh, there we go. So there's a lineage to it. Are you good at training them? Is it like, are they kind of, so you're a softie and they can do whatever they want, or you got them like
so
trained?
My first one, I will say I'm more of a softie towards him just because he's such a lovable dog. He likes to cuddle. He tries to sleep in between your legs. But the second one, there's something about him. He's so smart, and he likes to test me. So, you know, I have a little bit of a shorter nerve with him, but he's, like I said, he's really smart, so I could train him. He could probably do a backflip off the wall if I wanted him to.
That's impressive. Well, it's great having you here tonight. Any last thoughts? We have a wonderful turnout here.
This is amazing.
Coming off of the Apple Cup, anything you want to tell Coug fans about just life here as part of this team?
I just want to say thank you for accepting me into the Pullman. You guys are like my new family. I've been here for 4 seasons now. It's different than I'm far away from home, super far away from home, and you guys have welcomed me with big, wide arms. And I just want to say I love you all. Thank you for the support. And, you know, we're going to keep winning for you guys, so always go Cougs.
It is great having you here in Pullman. Josh, thanks for being here tonight. Congrats on the success in the Apple Cup throughout the year, and can't wait to see you and your teammates in action Friday.
We're just getting started, y'all.
That is Josh Meredith joining us here on the Cougar Football Hour. We'll take another timeout. When we return, we'll get to some of our listener and audience questions as we are rejoined by Jake Dickert. That's all after this break. We'll be back at Zeppo's after this here on the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End of friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Coug fans, you love rooting for the Crimson and Gray, and now McDonald's has even more for you to cheer about. Because this season, you can score big with the 20-piece McNuggets bundle when you order on the McD app. Get 20 golden, juicy McNuggets, plus 2 orders of the medium fries you know and love, all for just $11.99. McDonald's and Cougars football, now that's what I call a W. Must opt into rewards at participating McDonald's, valid through 2024-25 football season. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
This is former Coug, Eric Coleman.
Goff intercepted. Touchdown coming into the end zone, Eric Coleman.
And you're listening to Cougar Football. Go Cougs.
At U.S. Bank, when they say they're in it with you, they mean it. Not just for the good stuff, the grand openings and celebrations, although those are pretty great, but for all the hard work it took to get there. The fine-tuning of goals, the managing of cash and workflows, and decision-making. They're in to help you through all of it. Because together they're proving day in and day out that there is nothing as powerful as the power of us. Visit usbank.com to get started today. Equal housing lender, member FDIC, copyright 2024 U.S. Bank.
Want to earn some extra money this winter? Spokane International Airport is hiring multiple seasonal snow removal equipment operators. These are on-call positions for the upcoming winter season from November 2024 to March 2025. You can earn up to $36 an hour. Some positions require a CDL, and previous experience in operating snow removal equipment is highly preferred. Join our team today. Learn more and apply by visiting SpokaneAirports.net.
This is the Cougar Football Hour. Tonight's show is brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. Here's the voice of the Cougs, Chris King.
Back at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour, right next to Coach Jake Dickert once more. We got a lot of questions to get to from social media, from our folks here in the audience. Let's dive right into it. Coach, we brought you some juice today because you earned it. What's the best way to boost team energy in practice if it ever is low?
Well, it's apple juice, by the way. I think that's very symbolic, right? It's one of those things. Our guys, we talk about energy a lot, right? If you're juiceless, you're useless. And, I think I love football, guys that love football, right? And they come out there and they practice, but there will be some highs, there will be some lows. And anytime there's a low in practice, it's just like, let's compete. Good on good. Like, our team sparks up. Like, whatever the situation is, sometimes we just call it sudden change. Whatever we're going to do in practice, we blow it up and we just go out there and compete. So our guys love being out there and they love preparing, and it makes it so easy as the coach because sometimes, when things aren't going your way, it's like practice, these guys are out there working. But our guys enjoy being around each other and understanding what it takes to win.
Kay had a question here, and I know you love the grocery list. We have some excellent examples of that, and so many good questions. We won't have a chance to get to all of them, and some of them we kind of already touched on when talking about the Apple Cup. But this one, again, we discussed this week one, but the creative team and the graphics, I know the kind of the posters to preview the game are off the charts. It's just talking about how great those prints are here. I know you get to see those. Do you get fired up every week when you get to see just all the creative juices that go into the final product?
I have to give a shout out to Carson Rorick. He is our creative director. He's 23 years old, guys. He's 23 years old. He's been with us now for the last 3 years. We actually hired him before he graduated at Southern Utah. He was that special. But like that rewind of those games, that's Carson. And that is just hours and hours worth of work and film and mashing up audio to clips to your voice calls to the TV to, me being mic'd up on game day. And, I just think we've taken everyone behind the scenes a little bit. What it's like in a Friday meeting. He showed a clip this week of every Thursday we do what we call an attack meeting. This is things that we're going to attack that we see out of their film that we need to take advantage of. So he's given everyone a little behind-the-scenes glimpse of what these guys go through on a weekly basis. And I think it's just really cool. Dallas Hobbs actually is still, kind of contracted to do our posters that are our pregame posters. And we had over 1.5 million views. Carson went big on the kind of imposter Big Ten country poster, and it turned into Coug country. I'm not a big troll guy, but I think at that moment it just felt good at that time, so he threw it out there. But it was one of those things that goes viral, and I think we got one of the best in the business, and a really huge shout-out to Carson because those productions, I think, is what just keeps Cougs involved in everything that we're doing.
I think that is very well said. Hats off to Carson and Dallas and everyone there. Well, we'll take another break here from Zeppo's. More with Coach Dickert after this. You're listening to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
Bro, you go hard for the WSU Cougs.
What do you mean?
You're literally wearing a Coug jersey that you bought from the Coug store with your Coug debit card. And you don't stop talking about how every time you use your card, Gisa donates to the Cougar Athletic Fund.
I guess I do go pretty hard for my Cougs.
If you go hard for your Cougs, get your WSU card today at Gisa.com. Go Cougs!
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you're planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This Washington State University sports broadcast is brought to you in part by Pullman Regional Hospital, the official hospital of Washington State Athletics. The combined expertise of our university and our award-winning hospital are being deployed to provide greater access to resources, education, employment opportunities, and innovations to improve health care and health outcomes for all of us. Learn more at pullmanregional.org. Pullman Regional Hospital and Washington State, partners in excellence.
Nothing works up an appetite like cheering for your Cougs on game day. So why not cheer them on at Northern Quest with an impressive roster of restaurants and lounges? You can tackle the menu at Epic and catch every play on the 10 by 30-foot screen. Or grab a steak at Maslow's, a fine cigar at Legends of Fire, even a burger from Fat Burger. You know, for your inner linebacker. See more at northernquest.com. Go Cougs!
Back after this local timeout on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield.
Aw, shucks. The game's on TV, but I can't listen to the call of my favorite team broadcasters.
Never fear. Sync My Game is here.
Sync My Game?
Yes, Sync My Game. If you have a DVR and streaming device, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield. It's never been easier to hear the impassioned voices of your favorite radio crew synced with the TV.
Wow, thank you, Mr.
Just remember, syncmygame.com.
Which schools will take home the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup as the top college athletic programs for the 2024-25 college athletics season? You can follow the standings of your favorite team or alma mater at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2025 to the winning institutions in all college sports divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Back here at Zeppo's on the Cougar Football Hour with the coach of the Cougs, Jake Dickert. Friday night, that will be the spot. Gisa Field, 7 o'clock kickoff against San Jose State. So many good questions this week. A big thank you to everyone who asked them on social media. Won't have time to get to them all, but Mark B. asked one about the San Jose State game, and also Tony Only about San Jose State. The phrase trap game was used in the question, and how do you handle the preparation for this week? What is that like going off of this emotional win and then playing a Friday night game?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the word that's been thrown around, or letdown game, or just kind of the success hangover and all that type of stuff. I'm not a big guy that really just talks about doubt and guys, I'm gonna make you play hard because I'm gonna scare you about something. It's just, guys, this is a standard game is what I call it. We're gonna play up to our standard. We got to prepare up to our standard. We got to watch film up to the standard. You got to take care of your body up to the standard, and then go out there and perform, because we just have a saying like every opportunity deserves our best. And as soon as you start thinking you can turn your talent on and off, you can choose who you want to play hard against, because it's a big opponent. It's a nameless, faceless opponent that the character and the heart of our football team will be on that scoreboard, and these guys demand our respect in every way. So, but I also say, like, our guys understand the moment, the opportunity. Like, they understand that when you keep stacking up 1-0s, there's a lot of fun things that you can talk about, but don't worry about the end of the tunnel. Stay in this moment, every moment, and big things can happen as we keep moving forward.
I know we're up against the clock a little bit, but I think this was a good question as well from Brian in the Tri-Cities, talking about what the receivers have done when it comes to their blocking. And I know Josh is here. That's a good topic, kind of real quick to get to. It seems like those guys deserve a lot of credit.
Yeah, I mean, I think anytime you're not getting the ball, or Texas Tech was even a good example of that, of blocking downfield for John. I mean, I just like to say, don't put bad stuff on tape. And if you want to be a complete receiver, you got to go out there and block every day. I don't use stuff. Yes. I think that's why you're laughing. But like Josh, we had a great clip that we showed the team on. There was a crack block that, off one of our little kind of sweep plays, and he just leveled the corner. Like, this is good football. This is winning stuff. This is doing the little dirty things that embody what our team is. So we're going to need to keep doing those things on Friday night.
Coach, we hear the fight song. That means we're almost out of here. Family weekend. Final thoughts?
Well, it's our Wazoo game, family weekend. We're always looking. We need you guys. It's going to be an amazing game. Can't wait to keep this thing rolling. We're off to a great start. And go Cougs.
Friday night, 7 o'clock kick at Gisa Field. San Jose State the opponent. A big thank you to Luke Hallett back in the studio. Jerry Kylo here on the audio side. Jared Pringoober on the video side. I'm Chris King signing off here from Zeppo's. You've been listening to the Cougar Football Hour from Learfield.
been listening to the Cougar Football Hour on the Washington State Sports Network from Learfield. Tonight's show has been brought to you by U.S. Bank. U.S. Bank is a proud supporter of Cougar athletics. Together, there's nothing as powerful as the power of us. U.S. Bank, equal housing lender, member FDIC. Tonight's show is also brought to you by Zeppo's, the home for the Cougar Coaches Show, where the Palouse comes to play and eat. The preceding has been a Learfield presentation of the Washington State Sports Network.